Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. I'm gonna jump on Pinky, back on Pinky, try to get these brakes sorted out. I took these drums to work and did a little modifying. If this works, great. Bad thing is, that down the road at some point, if these drums ever need replaced, then somebody may not know what I've done. But I guess that's just something you can't really worry about. You have no control over. So let me show you what I've done here. So these drums are physically, they appear different manufacturers is what I'm guessing, but what I've done is I took 150 thousandths off of this face, same way with both these faces. Heavy edge brake on both of those, broke the edge here and here. I went in here and took, I believe, 100 off. So these are the registers that I made, and this back flange was 75 thousandths. So I took it down to 25. That way the drum was only 25 away from the actual face of the axle. So went 150 here because it was hitting heavy on this one, and it was hitting down in here, the brake shoe was. So hopefully this is enough. If not, I had to put the 12-inch chuck in the lathe because I had to grip on the outside of the drum right here. So if it's not enough, I'll just run the truck. Well, I can't run the truck too much because I have the radiator apart. But hope this may help brake pressure, and that's what I'm kind of hoping. Maybe the shoe was in a weird bind when I went to adjust it, and I was having too much travel. I don't know. I'm just kind of, but we did have a clearance problem, so it was rubbing the backing plate, and the depth down in the inside of the drum was rubbing the face of the shoe. So I'll get these put on, we'll bolt the wheels on, and I've bought a brake pressure gauge, and we're going to check brake pressure at all four corners. Also probably going to re-bleed this thing. So let me get some stuff put together, and I'm pretty sure I got a helpy helper coming, a pedal pumper that can hit the pedal while I read the gauge, and I'll show you the gauge here in a minute. So unfortunately, I should have spun it on around so we could see the actual gauge, but this thing's got pipe thread, so it's a little temperamental. You get somebody to hit the brakes and watch the pressure. So see the gauge right there. Sorry I don't have a mic on. That might be a bad move on my part, but I just absolutely forgot to get the mic out. But I'm gonna dig around through some stuff and see if we can't throw a braided hose on this thing, make it a little easier to use. And as soon as somebody gets here, we'll hit this pedal and see what it says. I think it's supposed to be around 1,000, 750 to 1,000, something like that. So we might have fixed it with the drum. Well, we won't know until we know. So let me see what I can create with this gauge and put a braided line on it, make it easier to use. Alright, so I'm going to stick in here and I'm going to pump this pedal. And I could have done this while, I could have videoed it while I had some help here, but I didn't think about it because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm losing the battle here. So when Chris like jammed the brakes down, I seen 700 psi, the highest at the front, but general, just regular pushing it, it was barely cracking 500 psi. So I'm gonna try to put you in here so you can see this thing, and I'm gonna go push the pedal, and then I'm gonna be able to watch it back too. But the master cylinder is new because it came with that pedal assembly, but I've seen new junk parts before. So I mean, I've ordered an 1 1/8" GM master cylinder, which that's what it's similar to in looks, which is my go-to is 72 vet, but it fits like 72 through way on up, and I think Jeep products. So let me stick you to the we put this gauge somewhere where you can see it, and then plumbing it for the front of this thing. I put it on a braided hose, so the back was easy, but then I had to do some rearranging because I couldn't get it in there where the bleeder screw was. All my fittings and stuff ran right into the ball joint. So let me stick you in here. All right, it's kind of in the dark on what you can see here, but we're going to take a chance, see how it goes. I don't know what if that, hopefully you could see it, but the pedal is trash. Like, the pedal I had earlier was way better than what I have now, and then the pedal also bleeds off. When I had good pedal earlier, Chris got in it and went straight to the floor. So I have no leaks. I feel good about no air in the lines because of that bleeder system thing that I bought, the pressure bleeder. I wouldn't think I got air in the lines taking the bleeder screw out because it sat here and gravity bled. I did bleed the line going to the gauge, so that was, you know, no air in there to get some weird reading on the gauge. One thing I think is just try a master cylinder. So got that ordered. It's supposed to be at O'Reilly's by 10 tomorrow. I mean, I don't get off work till 3:30, so I can go after work, and then hopefully I can get this thing sorted out between tomorrow and Friday, because I'm leaving Friday to go out of town. And I won't be videoing this weekend.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
All right, I got us a new Master. Apparently it's I guess the reason for this is it's cheaper to make stuff out of cast aluminum than the cast iron, but this is my go-to Master, and it looks real similar to what's on there. Is like I said, 72 Corvette. This is the O'Reilly's part number, but so it's made out of cast aluminum now. The design looks a little different. I don't believe the one on the Impala has this ramp going down in there to make this reservoir smaller, but it does make this one bigger, so I don't know what that means. Just something I noticed. I've got it pretty well bled here. I've been messing with it for quite a few minutes and getting little tiny air bubbles out. I am trying to do every single thing I can possibly do to make sure I've got all my bases covered to get this thing some brake pedal. So we'll put the lid back on this and put the plugs back in the side, and drag out some tools, and we'll see if we can get under there and swap this thing out relatively quick and easily. So I'll see you under the truck. Alrighty, let's try not to make a giant mess here, but I feel sure I'll have brake fluid running up my sleeve in no time. All right, let me get these lines off here. I'm gonna try to do this slightly quickly. That way I'm not taking a bath in brake fluid, which I'm already doing, it looks like. I was gonna loosen these up and have them a little bit more mobile, but you know what? I'll just be wearing brake fluid. So let's put that back like we found it. Or they're both 9/16 up here. I sure hope this solves my problem, because if this doesn't, then you know, I really don't know what else to do. I should have got a short wrench is one thing I should have done. All right. Can't really get on this one either. Got a bad choice of tools here. All right, got to get it from the top. Probably can get it by hand now, if I can get my hand in there. This will be the last vehicle I ever do with under the floor brakes. This is it, I'm done. Never again. If you got under floor brakes, I ain't even working on it. That yellow Ford was bad enough. This one has sealed the deal for me. All right, let me get that other master. All right, before I swap these, let me take a look at them. Similar deal, little fat potbelly vet deal. Some similar, you know, some differences, like right here and right here. Clearly this one can be ported on, you know, either or side. This end looks pretty similar. Hopefully this will fix us up. We'll find out shortly, I guess. Well, the worst part would be dragging out the pressure bleeder and making another mess, but well, just do anything I can here. I'll finish tightening that from the top side. Let me get these lines in. All right, got the master installed. I need to go up there and tighten up this nut here. I'll dig out the pressure pot deal and we'll see if we can't get some fluid pushed through the system. So let me dig this stuff out. Well, that didn't make it far. So you want to check out my latest problem? And I thought it was just something that a simple fix. Pull the new master off, add this piece back, we'll go for it. Because I didn't realize this was in there, but maybe I didn't, I just forgot it was, because I did have this master off. I don't remember if it fell out of there or not. So it had a spacer in there for the rod that comes out of the booster. It slides up in here, like so. So that's a problem. Yeah, I got no choice here. So I guess I'm going back to work today. And it's 5:30 now. So I'm gonna run back to work, make us a spacer, and put it all back together again and see where we go from there. All right, I cheated the system a bit here. Instead of making a new one, I just took 50 off the OD. So as you can see, it slides right in there. My reasoning was, if for some reason I have to go back to this master, then I need to make another one of these anyway, because I mean technically I probably wouldn't, but it's a little sloppy. It would probably just line itself up, you know. But if taking 50 off this is the quick, easier way to handle it, then that's the way to go. But if something happens and I have to make another one for that one, well, I was going to have to make one any which way I went. So I went with this route. let me get back under here, reinstall this master for the second time, and make sure the spacer plunger doohickey's in there. Fingers crossed. All right, we currently have brake pedal, like I've never felt before in this thing, so fingers crossed. I didn't show you the bleeding process because you can go back and watch that other video, but I did kind of get it to seal a little bit better on the master cylinder without wanting to throw it out in the yard. But however, I did almost have a come apart because I didn't put the vacuum port back in the booster because it wasn't a big deal. I got it out with the other one, with the other master bolted to the booster. Well, guess what? That big knot right there, yeah, I almost didn't get it back in there. So that would have been round 3 for removing that master, or just really taking it loose on that end. I got antifreeze back in this thing. I do not have a cooling fan, so we had to just watch the temp gauge and make sure it's okay. But I do want to start it and see how it feels with the power brakes, and we'll go from there. So let me get this thing started up. Still have to work on that choke because, oh, I forgot I don't have move my light over there. Also helps if I hook the battery up, and I went to do that 3 other times and done something else. Oh yeah, I said something about the choke. Well, the choke's wired. It's just still zip tied open, so I need to cut that zip tie and see if I can get it to work. So I need to do a hold down for that battery. Also missing a bolt for that battery lug, but that ain't that big a deal. I can get one somewhere. All right, we got power. What do you think? 3 pumps? Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. It's got a lot of pedal now. I can get it to idle a little bit here. Man, I feel like that'll stop it. I'm pushing pretty hard. That's the best I've seen it. Like 1,000 times better than I've seen it. I still feel like I'll have to adjust. See how it stays right there? I have to adjust that brake light switch, because I guarantee if I push it right here, I bet the brake lights are on. Yeah, I can see them in the reflection of my truck. So I have to adjust on that a bit. I didn't see anywhere where I could put a return or a helper spring, so I'll just adjust it to where the lights don't come on until that point. That's the best I can do. I bled the heck out of this thing. I almost feel that thing slap full. I need to leave it out here so I can drain it. But all right, well, that's progress. I don't know how much more we'll put in this video. I'm gonna do a little clean it up, let it run for a minute. No fan, can't run long. I guess I could put my Milwaukee fan in there, but I don't know. I still have to bezel, hood latch, and try to get all this lined up. So I don't know, we may wait till tomorrow to close it out, see what I can get done and add it in this video. But for today, I believe that'll be all she wrote. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, well, it's supposed to have been gone all weekend this weekend. We left yesterday on Friday at about 3:30, and I'm now home in the shop Saturday at 7:30. So the weekend trip turned into a day trip, but nothing bad happened. Just went to one of those cities where we'd never been and realized that that city was not for us. And we went and done what we were set out to do, and well, we decided to just bring it on back to the house. So, which works out well for me because I'm about to set Pinky on the ground and we're going to see if this thing stops. So I've not touched these brakes since Friday. We're going to see if it's still got pedal today by hand, see how it feels. I feel like we're good to go. So I'm going to move this transmission cooler in the Tacoma. Oh man, you know what I can't do? I can't drive this thing yet. Got to wrap the exhaust before I set it on the ground. Need to wrap the exhaust. Then we may do the driving video tomorrow morning, or I may do it tonight. I don't know. Either way. But right now, I need to wrap this exhaust because I don't really want to put it back in the air just for this. And then while I'm under there, I'm gonna make sure I got everything covered while it's in the air. It's probably, I mean, it's not been driven much, but it may be a good idea to do an oil change here soon. I don't know. The cooling fan did come in, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. Like I said, I'm going to have to just put my little Milwaukee fan up front there and run it around the neighborhood. But let's see, it's still pretty chilly. It says it's 68 in the shop, so diddling around through the neighborhood, it should be fine. But I'm going to get under this thing, get this stuff wrapped right quick. I may or may not cover it, I don't know. But I'll see you in a minute. All right, I got this exhaust wrapped. Thought I was about to have a Christmas vacation moment here, because those metal straps that DEI sends with this kit, I even have a homemade tool to tighten up these little band straps. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's these little metal looking zip ties. Well, that exhaust is 2 1/4, and by the time I wrapped it to finish it and to start it, it had a couple wraps in it, so it was a bit more than 2 1/4. So I was like, well, let me get a hose clamp. And the biggest hose clamps that I had max out at 2 1/4. So I was like, well, let me double up the hose clamp. Not the greatest way to do it, but I was like, it'll work until I go to Lowe's and buy another bag of hose clamps. No, don't buy your hose clamps from the parts store. Go to Lowe's, into the whale section, pump and whale section, and buy them by the bag. Much cheaper, and they are actual ideal clamps. So I can't remember how many's in this. 10 of those comes out to $1.80 a piece, and I buy them by the bag. So that bag was 19 bucks, but that bag was 18 bucks. But you get 10 hose clamps, and then so 2 2 1/4, too big. So I was like, well, let me go over here and get a 1 incher. Well, the 1 inch hose clamps are narrower than the big hose clamp, so one end would fit the other foot would fit the other. I tore the whole drawer apart looking for my big metal zip tie doohickeys. I even tore the toolbox apart. Maybe I used them all, I don't know, it's been a while. So ended up having to use 2 smaller clamps. You see where I'm going with this. Yeah, thought I was about to have the old Chevy Chase moment. Oh, so let me show you what I've got here. Now, some people wet this stuff. It does help with the dust, but you will sling water all over you and everything else. So I don't prefer to wet it. I've done it once, didn't like it. So I just keep it dry. So I start, since this is under the truck, you want to start at the back and go forward, because your wrap won't catch the wind, if you know what I mean. Like if I went from the front, then my open end would be toward the wind. So you want to start at the back and go forward. So I got the janky double hose clamp action going on here. I bought the 25-foot roll, so I started back here. Figured we just cover it all the way up to the clutch master, and then I'll cut this duct tape off. But that's how I help hold it with a start. There's actually duct tape in here, you can see it there, but it's fine. It'll smoke a little bit, but it'll go away, and that's what I use to hold it in place. So I duct tape it, make a loop, get it tight, and then as I move along, I am pulling this stuff tight and I'm twisting it. So, and this one I did about half wrap. Sometimes you can do them quarter wrap. The Peller original looking heat wrap has got a thread on left and right, and you can use that thread as a wrap marker, if that makes sense. So we'll let this double hose clamp be for now until I get some, and I'll slice this off. But oh yeah, so that is done. I think I'm about ready to set it on the ground, but it is pretty late. I'd rather not drive it in the dark, so what I may do is just set it on the ground and get ready to drive it in the morning. Try it out in the daylight. It's pretty quiet, so I can run it up the road in the morning. It won't bother anybody. Yep, I also need to make sure how much gas is in it, because I'd hate to get up the road and run out of gas. Although I've learned my lesson, you test drive uphill, that way when it breaks down, you can roll back down the hill. So, alrighty. Oh, if you're wondering, this is DEI. This is the titanium wrap, part number 10123. Yep, that's usually what I use. That brand, that style works pretty good. Well, now I got to clean this gasket mess up, and we'll get this truck on the ground, and we'll see you tomorrow with a test drive. We'll run this thing through the neighborhood. I probably need to check the gas. I wonder, the gas station's only like a mile from my house, so that would give me a few seconds of a third gear, maybe fourth gear time. I believe we're at the point where it's time for tag and insurance. That way I can get this thing out and put a few miles on it and feel good about it. It appears to have some gas in it, but like I said, I don't, or maybe I didn't say, I have questions about the ohm of this sending unit and the ohm of that gauge. But I guess the only way that I will kind of know is fill it up, see what the gauge says. Also, this thing is not vented, because the last time I poured gas in it, a bunch of vapor came out, like it was under pressure. So that's a little sketchy. It probably should be vented. Actually, I know it should be vented, so I'll probably have to look into that. I don't really know what to do for it just at the moment, but just another little tidbit probably need to look at. Let me crank this thing, let it get a little warm, and then I'll move to Tacoma. It's not too early, so people can't be too mad at me for making a little noise. Oh, morning brake check. We have pedal. So 3 pumps. I still have not cut the zip tie that's been put on that carburetor in Neutralis. See, it's saying I got 3/4 of a tank of fuel, but I couldn't see no gas in that tank, so I think what I'll do is we'll do a test drive up the hill. If the brakes feel well, then I'll sneak it off to Ingalls, because it's early enough to where it should be able to fly under the radar. And I'll ratchet strap this hood, that way no catastrophes will happen. All right, let me move some other vehicles and get this thing out. All right, just remembered, trying Charlie has my trailer, so let's pray for. Well, I gotta move the wheel chock. All right, I got my fan, my Milwaukee cooling fan in front of the radiator. I got the heat on, so that'll pull some heat out of the motor as well. I mean, it's not even at 180 degrees yet. These mirrors are terrible. Like, I can't see diddly. It sounds like it's got a rocker arm noise to me. Once it gets warm, it's got a little racket. Should have wiped this windshield off. I may do that. I can't see nothing. Let's stop right here and wipe this windshield. I don't know if it's on the inside or outside. Probably both. Make sure I ain't blocking the neighbor in. Also, I don't have a car trailer at the moment, so let's hope we don't need that. That rocker arm, I don't feel like it's exhaust leak. I feel like that's rocker arm. All right, let's go up the hill. I hope that's just something in the adjustment. Because if it's not, then that goes back to what I was worried about from the get-go. The fact that they ran this motor and didn't take it straight into a break-in procedure. Especially it being a flat tappet camshaft. See, it says I'm almost got a full tank of gas now. Temp just now at 180, that's good. I smell antifreeze. But I did spill antifreeze. Like a level 10 spill of antifreeze. Look at this square body. I want this truck so bad. Cream puff. See anything drippy on the road. Temperature is dead on 180. All right, let's go get some gas. Fourth gear right there. Still got to pull this steering wheel off, straighten it up. It also needs to get a professional alignment. feel great. I forgot that's why we were driving it. Rocker arm is unhappy. Temperature still 180. Volt 14, oil pressure 40-ish, 40 plus. I feel like it's definitely oversprung, or the tires got 100 pounds of air in them. Yeah, seems like it stopped pretty good. Still just above 180 on the temp. I'll shut her down at the gas pump, let the fan, it's got heat too. Feels pretty good. Put a little non-ethanol in it. Alright, let's get a little gas. Knock the crank off. I don't know how much gas that tank holds, the capacity on it, but I just put a tad over 15 gallons of gas in this thing, and the gas gauge is backwards. So we were up at the full mark. Now look at this. So that sending unit and this gauge aren't jiving. Hopefully that sending unit's not in upside down or anything like that. I guess if it's accurate backwards, it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be hard to keep up with, but at the same time, it's not right. All right, let's sneak this thing back to the neighborhood. We've just now broken over the 10-mile mark, and I want to get it back to the house anyway and investigate this rocker arm noise, but I won't do that in this video. I think this video with the brakes, I think we're a win. So close her out at this. So thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage. We'll see you on the next one. I believe next week's video maybe a little traveling car show swap meet action. So fingers crossed, good weather, and everybody's hot rod plays well with this idea. Head up to Mount Airy, North Carolina. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.